was the worst tragedy since World War II. A quake so powerful that it caused the Earth to sink several feet. A tsunami ripped through the northeast coast, leaving tens of thousands dead as Japan's shoreline turned to rubble. The destruction that occurred left so many homeless, mourning over the loss, searching for answers, and reaching for a glimmer of hope. March 11, 2011, 2:46 p.m., 60 miles off the coast, the massive 9.0 magnitude earthquake and tsunami caused the government of Japan to seek help from the international community. The U.S. responded with a deluge of hope, a major operation that brought new meaning to the Japanese phrase, Tomodachi, translated friendship. Operation Tomodachi was born, and Misawa Air Base in northern Japan responded to the call. Misawa Air Base was well positioned to respond to the crisis. In the midst of an operational readiness exercise, the Emergency Operations Center was already activated. When the shaking stopped, the base commander, Colonel Michael Rothstein, ordered leaders to account for everyone who calls Misawa home.
All right, everybody try and take accountability.
Accountability recall for all family members and active duty members. There's a tsunami warning, 6 meters expected. There's no time frame as of yet. We'll continue to update you as we get more information.
This is the command post. Real world. The 35th Fighter Wing Commander has directed a full accountability recall for all military and family members.
We were already in exercise mode when this natural disaster occurred, and so we were already in 24-hour shifts taking care of our exercise phase 1. So we smoothly transitioned into basically a humanitarian effort here on base, taking care of our families. Our first priority was to feed them, so we already had our DFAC open. Obviously the capacity has been extended quite a bit, but luckily those operations went smoothly into taking care of all these people you see here.
The next step, begin the long process to recover from the damage.
Try to fix anything that was damaged as possible. That was the first thing going through my mind, like cut off steam, cut off water, cut off the power. So that's what we did, jumped in our trucks and went out.
Right here we're hooking actually one of our generators up to this electrical panel to supply power to so everybody else that comes in and helps with the rest of the search and rescue to the base, supplying power to the base, has somewhere to stay, has heat, has power, can wash them, dry their clothes, can eat.
The 35th Civil Engineering Squadron worked day and night to restore critical services to the base population. Freezing temperatures made it absolutely essential to repair steam transmission lines which supplied heat to the base. 227 miles southwest of Misawa, the tsunami crashed ashore at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. The implications for Misawa Air Base were ominous. 35 hours after the quake, Misawa Air Base turned into a major transit hub and safe haven. Operation Tomodachi was in full swing. The airfield ramp was a hive of activity, receiving and launching aircraft full of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief supplies and aid workers. Over 170 aircraft, to include Air Force C-17 Globemaster IIIs, Air Force and Navy C-130 Hercules, and Navy HH-60 Seahawks ferried in more than 500 passengers and tons of cargo. This feat was successful almost entirely due to the hard work of the 35th Logistics Readiness Squadron's cargo load teams and petroleum, oils, and lubricants flight. After the aircraft were downloaded, the logistics team was not finished. In order to get the aircraft back in the air, they had to be fueled. Misawa Air Base also served as a shelter for Americans in northern Japan. Urban search and rescue teams from Fairfax County, Virginia, Los Angeles, and the United Kingdom arrived at the base on March 13, 2011. The teams consisted of approximately 210 workers and 14 rescue dogs. Shortly after arrival, they traveled to Ofunado, Japan, in the Miyagi Prefecture to help with the search and rescue operations. The convoy began with a police escort provided by the city of Misawa. The 20-vehicle convoy included 7 tractor trailers, 8 pickup trucks, 4 buses, and 1 mobile maintenance vehicle. In all, there were more than 30 military drivers and escorts working together with the rescue teams to transport and offload the equipment. As they drove through Misawa City, Japanese citizens clapped and waved in appreciation of the effort. Logistical support did not end when the rescue teams arrived in Ofunado. The following day, Japan Air Self-Defense Force CH-47J Chinook helicopters flew in more cargo and rescue personnel. Based on the deteriorating conditions and uncertainty of the situation, the Department of State authorized the voluntary departure from Japan of spouses and families. Although there was no specific indication of any spread of radiation at amounts harmful to American citizens, this was a precautionary measure to ensure the optimal safety of the American people. The process of moving this many people was another significant activity for Misawa Air Base, while continuing the humanitarian assistance and disaster relief mission. Military families wishing to leave after the March 11th disaster gathered at the base club with passports, birth certificates, marriage licenses, pet records, and other documents needed to sign up for a flight out. Representatives from 12 base agencies such as the legal office, medical clinic, the post office, and the chapel helped families get their affairs in order prior to leaving. Families were processed by priority status with personnel who had urgent medical needs and pregnant dependents first. Once families completed the necessary preparation steps, they waited to find out when to report to the club for final processing and aircraft boarding. More than 1,200 Misawa family members volunteered to go back to the U.S., while their airman, soldier, or sailor focused on the critical role in support of relief efforts, helping to ensure the safety and security of our Japanese friends and allies. Within the first month, nearly 2,000 people participated in more than 40 missions to communities like Misawa, Hachinohe, and Nodomura Village.
I think I'm proudest of the heart demonstrated by everyone here, both in uniform and out of uniform, and making someone else their priority.
On April 7th, history repeated itself as a 7.1 magnitude earthquake shook Misawa. Like before, lights went out across the base and Misawa City as emergency protocols tripped breakers and local nuclear plants shut down. But the lessons of the previous 27 days had been well learned. Almost immediately, the Emergency Operations Center activated and took control of the unfolding crisis. Misawa Air Base responded like a well-oiled machine as airmen, soldiers, and sailors worked to restore power, ensure communication, and continue the base mission. Misawa Air Base rose to the challenges of Operation Tomodachi. What was accomplished was of tremendous service to one of our closest allies and the close friends and neighbors with whom we have shared so much for over 50 years.